What's up, wild people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alexandria Denise, and I'm sitting over here in my little corner sipping on some iced tea because I am about to replant or repot my plants. I actually started this sometime in mid-February. I wanted to get an early jump on the season, but this year I plan to plant summer squash, zucchini, tomatoes, and the star of my garden, which I'm hoping to be, and it has proven to be so far, sweet corn. So I got a little more of a surprise coming out on that because I've been working on something interesting. It's right over there in that blue tarp, if you can see outside. It's almost finished, but stay tuned for that video because it'll be the first time that I'm doing something of that nature. But yeah, I actually germinated this corn right here using the soaking method. So you soak it for about 24 hours in water to help the germination process along. And this one sprouted way faster than the one that I just did as a dry method. As you can see also, the biodegradable pot is almost deteriorating. So that is the reason why I am more so repotting these plants today. It's still a little too early out because, you know, the South's bipolar weather is it's pretty cold out today. So I didn't want to take the risk of, you know, planting them or taking them outside and then they die. It's about 60 degrees in my house. They need, you know, about that temperature really to just thrive. Corn, as I've read, is very sensitive to the weather and very sensitive to the roots. So it really makes me nervous today to repot them because, you know, the roots are just as sensitive. Take like the nerves in your teeth. That's how they describe as sensitive corn roots are. So it's not a great idea to, you know, constantly move them, but I'm hoping it works out and I'm hoping that, you know, they don't die on me, knock on wood, but they've already started to brown at the tips, which kind of worries me. This will be my first time planting corn, so we'll see how it works out. My zucchini were the star of the show last year, and they are still the star this year, proven to do very well. They're very strong in stock here. I love it. But my summer squash, which is the crookneck yellow squash, it's going limp. Actually, this one hasn't germinated at all. So I have no idea what's happening there. I'm going to end up planting some more because this is the last summer squash that I have, or the zucchini, or crookneck yellow squash, and it's gone. So it's literally, see, not even a point to it anymore. So I'm just going to have to replant those. And now my zucchini is doing the same. Stop it. All right, well, I got these other biodegradable pots here. I'm going to be putting the corn in. I have 8 stalks of corn right now. I'm going to have to go and get some more of these, but you get the picture. This actually is apple, like these. I forgot what apple I planted, but it's apples. Trust me. I planted some of those a few years ago and they proved to do pretty well, but of course I didn't have the space. I actually live in an apartment, not a house, but I didn't have the space and whatever else, so I just did it just for the fun of it, and I'm probably going to end up replanting those also because it makes no sense that they haven't sprouted yet either. But yeah, let's get to it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set these aside because, you know, it's just not a point to it anymore. But I'm not going to reuse that soil because I'm not sure if there's anything that was in the soil that probably caused them to die or not perform so well. So I'm just going to toss that. Same thing with the apples here. I'm going to check it out, see if they haven't gone backwards or something. So see what's going on there. This was just an extra little cup, which is, by the way, it's a pretty fun project. I mean, and it's very simple, very cost efficient. Me, myself, I always try to find ways that I can, you know, be resourceful. So these are really just old water bottles or drink bottles that I cut the bottoms off of, then punch holes at the bottom to put dirt in and of course use as a germination pot, so, or a starter pot. Didn't cost me any money, just the dirt if you go out and buy some. But this is actually dirt that I had from last season from the pumpkins that was pretty fresh. So it feeds up to 9 months. Though it's been out all winter, I didn't see a reason to really just toss it, so I reused that for germinating these. So the first ones I'm actually gonna do, which here, I'm gonna turn this around. I don't like the little bar that's right there. I want to be able to put my feet at. Oh, it's a bar right there too. Darn, I did all that for no reason. Oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and put those, my zucchini, in these pots right here. All I do is just scoop up some dirt. Put it there. Just get enough of it in there. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything pretty. Try not to fill it all the way up to the top because I want to put a good little bit of the plant stock in the pot and then cover the rest with dirt. So instead of pulling my zucchini out, what I'm actually going to do is just cut the pot open using this box cutter here, or bottle, whatever, but being careful not to damage the roots here. I think it'll just be easier than just tossing them and pulling them out, and you know, I can just peel it. Like I say, being careful. You don't want to be pulling on the plant itself. They're still very young and fragile. So I think cutting it open is kind of the best method. That's what I just did here. This one here, I actually used this little guy. It's pretty much gone. There's no point to him. Just, you know, because I used him as a leverage for the squash, and the squash was leaning on it, and it killed this too. So sad. But it's alright. I'm probably not going to have that many zucchini or squash in the same trough because it's just not enough space. I think 4 at best will perform well. So after that, I can just knock some of the rest of this dirt off gently. So we have the remaining roots right here. And I can just place these two in this bigger pot. Try to space them out a little more. And then cover them with dirt. I don't pat it down so much. I like to be able to leave some room for the air to circulate through the soil. You don't want to crush them either. So I think just putting enough, gently layering it. Because also when you put water, when you water them, the water will kind of bring it down some. So really no need to be patting on them, just gently, you know. And this one definitely needs some water, as you could tell how the leaves are curling. So, but zucchini potting, I can just leave that over here somewhere. It's one down. Now as for my tomatoes, these are actually heirloom tomatoes, and I have another one coming up here. It's a teeny baby, but yeah, these are red heirloom striped tomatoes. I got these, I actually went to Whole Foods, did this as a project some years ago. Went to Whole Foods and got like some heirloom tomatoes because I heard they were healthier, this, that, and whatever else. And I was like, I could save the seeds to this. And I saved the seeds, and of course I've been planting them year after year. One fruit produces a lot of seeds, like it's crazy. And a lot of times I have to get rid of my tomato plants because I have nowhere to put them. They actually outperform a lot of the rest of the vegetables that I plant or fruit that I plant. So they do very well. I sometimes give some to my neighbor over here. She's interested in gardening and the whole 9 yards. So if you give them a lot of sunlight, you give them a lot of water, they pretty much do pretty well. These here are pretty young right now, but I'm gonna do them the same way I did the zucchini because I don't want to be, knocking them around. Even if I were to dump out the pot, there's a chance all that weight, of course, from the soil would just come along on them and crush them, and I don't want that. So try to be as gentle as possible to get them out. Yeah, so these, they just need a bigger pot, and they're gonna grow a little bigger than that. I actually was driving yesterday. I plan to keep 2 of these, so I was driving yesterday, but I was thinking, I was like, man, I really need to find a big enough pot. Now I got a bigger pot from the dollar store for like $1. This is at Dollar Tree, and they're pretty big, but I think I'm gonna end up putting the blueberries in those. And I'm cutting along the back side here because I don't see any visible roots, but that still doesn't mean any roots are present, so I still want to be careful, but it'll be easier to just peel it. Plus, I don't need these anymore, I don't care. But I was driving along on the highway and I saw these 2 big flower pots on the side of the road, and I was like, yes! So I pulled over and got them, and they're in perfect condition. And I was like, this is just the size that I need, because I'm like, I don't want to be spending, man, $5 plus on flower pots. Like, gosh, can I just get them for free? And at one point, I actually did get them for free because I was in the neighborhood working somewhere. One day, my job, we go all over the place. And I saw this pile of flower pots like in the back alley somewhere behind this guy's house. And this guy, he had a tall fence, so you really couldn't see much, but for what you could see, it was like an oasis back there. So he was planting, his tomatoes were growing over the fence onto the sidewalk, and there was just small grape tomatoes on the sidewalk, and I'm over there picking them and tasting them, and they were so rich and robust. And this is before I started planting tomatoes. I was like, man, nothing in the grocery store tastes like this. They were just so rich and robust, and they were ripe. I guess that's the difference, because a lot of times when you get fruits and vegetables from the grocery store, they pick them before they're ripe, so they don't exactly reap the whole benefits from the plant to taste half as good as what this guy's garden did. So I asked him if I could have a couple of his flower pots, because he was like, yeah, just take them. Just take them. And some of these tomatoes too. So he actually gave me some of his tomatoes from his garden. They weren't heirloom or anything, but they were just rich in flavor. So I took a couple of his flower pots. I took 2 big ones, but they ended up recently getting damaged. I was using them for target practice, but it was already halfway damaged. But that's before I got a shooting bag, but whatever. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to find those 2 on the highway, and I'm eager to use them. So, and we got one baby here. Kind of just go ahead and cover these. That's it. So if anything, you can just dig a little hole like that. Just push them on in there. But by putting them in the outer edge right here, kind of gives them enough space to, you know, branch out. They can all pull resources, different areas, the minerals and nutrients they need from different areas here. There we go. And that little guy should be doing just well. All right, tomatoes repotted. Do the zucchini again. You know, since the roots are so exposed on this one, I'm not going to risk cutting it. I'm just gonna try to gently pull them out, but the stalk is so strong, I shouldn't have any kind of worries about, you know, dirt toppling over on them and doing all that. So I'll just pull them like this. Just kind of wiggle them out of there. There we go. Stand up now. Don't. Stand up. There we go. And this will give them a little more room until the next 2 weeks. Actually, you want to do it 2 weeks after the last frost. It is mid-March here, almost early April here. So it's about the 20th. So close to the end, not quite. We're almost there, but the last frost they said was somewhere around the 25th or 26th for this area. But you want to wait 2 weeks after that to plant them outside. So it should be nicer weather, a lot more nice weather. Then, so as you can see, you have the outer shell. This is what they burst out of. You have the outer shell of the, you know, seed there, the seed coat. And you just want to wiggle them gently to get the roots apart. Come on, stop biting. Yeah. No, stop it, stop it. Get off. Yeah, this is what I didn't want. There we go. All right, so. Like, no, I'm going in first. All right. So you just want to bury a good amount of that in the dirt. Same thing will apply this one. Just gently wiggle it off. Really, two to a pot. So you know what I am thinking? You know, actually, I don't think this one here, it was so bent over. I am going to probably just put this one back in here. And hopefully it'll straighten itself out. You see how it's bent right here? That's because it was developing over the pot there, or over the bottle. So if I put this in here again by itself, bury a good amount of that stem there, it'll hopefully over time straighten itself out and continue to grow. So I'm just gonna leave that one in the pot, put these in the new one, and you know what, I'm gonna take a little more dirt because these actually grew a lot faster than the other ones I just repotted. So I'm gonna take a good amount of dirt out of that to put them deep down. And there we go. Now cover them with dirt. try to space them out some. There we go. Cover them some more with dirt. Voila! So far with this, let's put them like that. Now you should have deep enough roots, and that will take a little more out. So I'm giving them a strong stop. Just fine. Now the star of the show, the corn. I actually kind of damaged one of these in the process of doing this, so this definitely is a testament as to how fragile they are. It's kind of peeling. This is the pot that I started with the soak method, so how the roots are just peeling out of it. And it's pretty slimy right now. It's got mold in it because the pot is just deteriorating and it's kind of affecting the corn. So that's a good thing that I can just peel this without, you know, so much damage. But I'm gonna try, let's see, to gently peel it over its roots. Each one of these, look how easy that just came off. So that's a relief. That's a big relief. But each one of these I'm gonna put in an individual pot, so by the time that I transport them outside, I can just, you know, stick them right in the dirt. And these are biodegradable, so I don't have to take them out. That means it's easier work for me. And they'll actually kind of feed off of these, off of the flower pot because it's compostable. So if you're gonna start corn, start them in these pots right here. Nothing plastic. It'll be kind of easier. Yeah, you're just peeling it off. Actually, and those are like the fragile hairs, little fragile roots. This is the part. Here's one. Wow, this is actually easier than I thought it was gonna be. A lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. So that's a relief. A big relief. It's just, I don't know how this one got damaged. There it goes. But they each now get their own individual pots. This one. See at the bottom, how the corn's kernel. This is actually what's deteriorating. Now, I'm gonna take a risk and just try to separate this from it. That's kind of the infected part. Look at that. This is actually where it sprouted. Much like how the casing of the zucchini, this is the casing of the corn's plant. That is what's
dying and deteriorating while the mold is growing around the base there. So just kind of get rid of that. It's not a big problem, but it's not a good look either. So, all right, here we go. One repotted corn plant. And the same goes for the others. And now we have 4 corn stalks repotted.
All right, so that actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be. All I had to do was just really, you know, peel the pots back. Kind of took care of itself. I think that I am going to put this one, instead of putting them in these trays again and going out and buying some. Like I said, I like to be resourceful. I'm just going to put them in these biodegradable trays that I got from work that are compostable. That way I can just kind of dig them out a little. It'll be easier to separate, I think, if I just fill the whole thing with dirt and then plant them at each corner. And when I get ready to transport them to their new home outside, I can just scoop them up and put them in the ground or put them in their new little home. So, but that's it for this video. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the garden this year, as well as other things I got planned. And leave a comment. Hey, what are some of your gardening tips? Everything. I'm always eager to learn some more about it. Share your experiences and the whole 9 yards. So until then, stay wild.